Good morning. So it is 10 o'clock on Saturday morning, 10 o'clock with you. Anyway, it's 11 o'clock with me. And I was just checking my laptop saying the UK time, so I never get mixed up. So that means it's, Warriors, it means it's yoga on a Saturday morning. Although this is the last of the course, and we're doing the element of space today, which is also called ether. So just before we start, for the end, good morning, Sasha. Before we begin, for later on in the class, you might want to get yourself lots of props, whatever you've got. You know, I didn't have any of my yoga equipment here because it's a lot of it's at most of it's at Powderham Castle and other places. But I've just grabbed like a couple of cushions, maybe some kind of block thing, a pillow, a blanket. Something for the end that I've got is you know, you could have, if you've got a bolster, great, or a block kind of wrapped up in something. I'm going to use this blanket, this cover, just to wrap up a fender, something like that. You can use anything you've got at home. If you've not got anything to hand, don't worry at all. It doesn't matter. So who have we got? So we've got Sasha. Hi, morning there, Wendy. Morning, Philippa. Lovely to see you guys. I hope the weather's okay for you there. I guess that's all, you know, we can hope for right now, is for the weather to be good. So when you do get outside, it is nice. It does help to get some sunshine, doesn't it? So the weather's quite nice here, but it just felt right to be inside today because I wanted to make sure it was quiet. There were no issues with anything, because I'm actually going to share with you something new, which I've been working on, which I'm going to be doing next week, next Saturday, in a bit more depth. But I've been, of course, it's the element of space. And as I'm running up to doing it on a Saturday, I'm starting to kind of take inspiration from places. And first off, out in nature, I don't know if you've seen a lot of butterflies at the moment, but I seem to be seeing rainbows and butterflies everywhere. And I always think these are signs and they're kind of symbolic. And so butterflies have kind of been on my mind a little bit, and especially the process of chrysalis. And then I'm also studying with a new teacher online. She's a Kundalini teacher, and I'm doing a kind of course with her for my own learning. And in her course I did the other day, she mentioned something called liminal space. And all of a sudden my ears pricked up because I remembered this from last year, that I read this about this last year, and I spoke to, I think it was Linda Cameron. I don't know if you're going to be here on this course. I think you are. But I was chatting about this. So there's something called the liminal space. Now this is, I hope you find this interesting. I think it's going to help with kind of understanding where we are. The liminal space is the space between where we are now and where we're going to be, where nothing's certain as to what it looks like. So you're kind of like in that transition phase where you don't know what it's going to look like at the end of it. I've heard it referred to as being like, so you're pregnant, the run up to actually giving birth is also is kind of a liminal space. So you know it's coming, you don't know what it looks like yet, you don't know what's going to happen even at the birth. So you're in that kind of waiting phase. And that can be really difficult, and it can be really uncomfortable because we like to know what's going to happen. We like to know what it's going to look like. And, you know, if you're find yourself going in that direction, that's normal as well. I have it myself, and I have to catch myself doing it. I have to catch myself going, oh, what's going to happen though? When can I start? What I'm going to do? And, you know, how's it going to look? And actually we don't know. And so what the really difficult thing is sitting there with, I don't know. And that's called embracing the liminal space. So it also relates to what happens to a caterpillar and a butterfly. So as the transition is going from caterpillar to butterfly, we've got this sort of process of the liminal space is actually the chrysalis. That's where the transition is happening, but it's not happened yet. So, and it's an interesting thing that happens, and these are called imaginal cells, and this relates to what's happening in space. So as we're going through this transition, these new cells, like the cells of the butterfly, and they're already there, and then the DNA, they're kind of starting to awaken, and it's all there as kind of the blueprint for what the butterfly is going to look like. But the caterpillar, as it is, as these new cells are starting to awaken and this process starts, actually starts fighting the imaginal cells, the ones that are kind of what it's going to look like. So there's kind of this stage of resistance, like resistance to change, that even happens in things in nature, from the transition from caterpillar to butterfly. So it feels like where we're at the moment is in this liminal space. We know things are changing, we know it's going to look differently, but we don't know what it's going to look like, and we've no idea when, how. All that we can do in that place is surrender. And so I'm going to put a little bit of surrender in today, and we'll just have more people doing it. Hi, Chloe. Hi, Fiona. So we're going to, usually I look at, in the element of space, making space in the body. But I'm feeling at the moment what we don't want to do. We don't want to force anything. It's more accepting that we are transitioning as a planet, as an individual. We are transitioning, and it's about allowing that change and not resisting. So as we go through this practice, which is kind of the final one of the Wild Warrior, similar to last week, I want you to embrace this idea of not resisting or forcing. So losing all of that and working with a state of ease in the body. We can also start to explore new space. So if you're in a movement, you think, I remember this, I've been doing this a while. Let me just explore a new space, because it's new potential, the area, the element of space, but also going there kind of with no expectation, but just an exploration, if that makes sense. So I hope that makes sense. If not, listen back, because you can listen to this as many times as you like. It's going to be here on the Facebook group, but also remember the whole of the course is on the website. So let's start with some grounding. You got your socks on, pop them off, and let's start with massaging the feet. So I'm hoping you can't see my feet, because I'm in desperate need of doing my toenails. They're all starting to chip off. They're in that liminal state between like the old skin, you know, the old stuff's coming off, and I need to do the new stuff, but I don't know which colour I'm using yet. So that kind of describes this liminal space that we're working with. We're in that transition point where I'm just having to accept the feet as they are. So give the feet a massage, and we're going to get moving in a moment. And maybe, so a good one to do for the feet to get into those spaces is to take the fingers between all the toes. You know, like when you do your toenails, you put those little foam things in. And in fact, they're great just to put in general, not just when you do your toenails, but put your fingers in these spaces and just kind of wiggle the toes about, getting that space there. The more space that we can get between the toes, the more we can kind of release the resistance in the feet. That's going to impact the whole of the body. And again, when we work with the body, so the work we do on our mat, when we're getting rid of the resistance and we're practicing letting go, acceptance and surrender on the mat, that helps, that will impact our outside world too. Now the next thing we're going to do is you're going to take the thumbs just to the heels, and you're just going to press along that line. I'll try and show you the arch of the foot. You'll feel that natural line there. Just press the thumbs along their line. So what happens, this line actually in reflexology, it is said to denote the, I think it's reflexology, it denotes the spine. So the heel being the very base of the spine, and that knuckle there being the top of the cervical spine, top of the neck, and then we've got the head. You know, our big toes are so important. So just press and see if you find somewhere, just hold there and breathe. So any of these like places where you've got adhesions, like sticky bits, like knots, or like, you know, you can't move the arm in its full range of movement, that's resistance. So we hold resistance in the body, we hold resistance in the mind as well. Now let's just release some energy blockages. So we're going to take butterfly. So we're going to do lots of butterfly today. We're going to clasp the hands and we're going to just open out the knees like this. So energy blockages, resistance, tightness around the hips is us holding on to like old stuck emotions. And our legs and this whole line that connected to our root chakra is our feelings of safety and security. It's kind of where we came from, our roots, our foundations. And take the legs out. I'm going to take both the feet to the side just so you can't see them. And then we're going to circle the angles. So nice and loose. So we get rid of that resistance. So what we often try and do, and there's this whole process that goes from caterpillar to butterfly, and it's kind of a spiral, you know, you have ups and downs in the healing process. It's sort of a spiral. It's quite a long process. What a lot of people do is just try and bypass it. Like, I'm going to change overnight from caterpillar to butterfly. And that doesn't work. That's going the other direction. What works better is breathing, being patient, going slowly, accepting. We can still grow, but from a state of acceptance. Now, point and flex the feet. Now, you'll see I'm shifting forwards and backwards. And then happy feet, side to side. Squeeze out my feet, the screen. Sorry about that. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is going to bring the knees in one at a time. So we're getting resistance in the body. Sometimes when our mind's like trying to control things, and that would be normal if that's happening at the moment. But when our mind's trying to control things, it creates like this contraction in the body as well, which isn't good. And then contraction in the body creates more resistance in the mind. So we need to sort of take this like two-pronged approach. Now bring the knee in, take hold of the foot, and let's just crank this knee a little bit, then lift off the foot and cradle the baby. Take the knee side to side. I'm going to work a lot with the hips today. And actually when we work with the element of space, it's often about our throat and our third eye chakra here, centre of intuition. And that's going to come into play throughout the sequence as well, as just as I invite you to use your intuition as you move, rather than that part of your brain that wants to get as far as you can. And take that leg out. Just compare the legs for a moment, just from that one movement of cradling the baby. I don't know if you can feel there's less resistance, that right side of the body. So these movements help. They're called energy blockage releasing exercises. It's a bit of a test of my brain, that would. Those 4 words all together, get them in the right order. So releasing energy blockages or resistance, first of all, before we move. Cradling the baby. I always seem to be doing this one when I need a pedicure. And it does remind me that don't focus on your pedicure, focus on your breath. From my teacher training. Okay, this leg's going to come out. We're going to just bring the knees around behind you and come onto all fours for a moment. We're going to kind of move up the chakras with this. So we start with the root chakra. We're going to go to sacral chakra. So on the knees, we're going to start by circling the hips. So we're freeing up the space. So the main 7 chakras going from the base of the spine all the way up to the crown of the head. I think I'm thinking about them now because I've got a chakras course that I'm writing at the moment as well. And then going in the other direction. does that feel? Nice? Now, moving up the chakras, we're going to go to the solar plexus chakra here. So we're going to inhale. We're going to lift up. I think we did this before. We're going to inhale, lift up, just drop the hips forward, shine this light, open up this space there. Exhale, fists of fire, burning off, transforming that energy. Inhale, open, exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. So this is why we're waking everything up. I felt like I should show off my yellow t-shirt. Yellow solar plexus chakra is sunshine and it's yellow. So inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Now on this next one, hold the arms up. Keep up right on the knees. Take the hands behind you. Clasp the hands behind you. I'm turning to the side just to show you. You don't need to do that. What we're going to do is really roll the shoulders back. And lift up that heart space. Take the tailbone back and bring the forehead down to the floor. When you're here, you can start to take the hands up towards the sky. Even come up onto the crown of the head. So this is also going to help stimulate our third eye and our crown chakra from here as well. Opening the heart. Now dropping down the seat, bringing the hands down. We're going to give ourselves a hug. So these are kind of all you'll see in the kind of dynamic movements. So we're giving ourselves a hug and we're just going like this. Also moving the spine in this spiral direction. Corkscrew. Releasing tension in the shoulders. Softening the heart chakra. And let's take it the other way around. So, self-hugs. Important through these times when we're challenged with, it's difficult, isn't it? Because when we most need connection and when it's really hard to get it, and we need to find different ways to get our connection. Now release the hands, just let the hands rest on the thighs. And let's just roll the shoulders back a few times. So let's take an inhale and lift the shoulders and notice what it's like to hold on to tension. And then as you exhale, release the shoulders and let go. Inhale. Lift the shoulders up towards the ears. Hold. And then breathe out and let go. Nice soft breath. Inhale. So by holding the position where it feels tense, it kind of breaks up those patterns or that you think that's normal. You've probably been holding on to tension. You don't realise until you go to extreme tension. And then you relax and let go. And let's just take the fingertips down to the side. In fact, we can pop your plug sockets in. So 2 fingers and thumb, forefinger, middle finger and thumb. Plug into the earth beneath you. Keep the shoulders relaxed and the heart lifted. And let's just drop the right ear to the right shoulder. Hello, neck tension. Just breathing in to the area of most resistance. And we're trying to get rid of the resistance in the body so that we can find that space in the body. Now just drop the chin down slightly. Stay still on a diagonal. As I often say, the magic happens in the space. So it's like when you have your best ideas when you go to the loo, because you've just been giving yourself that time. This is a time when, these new imaginal cells, the new cells of your butterfly are starting to develop. but we've also got a bit of discomfort of letting go of the old cells of the caterpillar. Now bringing the chin down towards the chest. Ooh. And then bring the head up. And just check in with the sides, so it's actually your left side of the body. Being kind of activated there. Now let's drop the left ear to the left shoulder. So here you're going to feel it down the right side. And just invite you to stay plugged in so that you don't become like that. Just stay plugged in. I love this mudra of like plugging into the earth, the grounding mudra, because I think of the earth as like a battery. Well, it operates like a battery. So if you think of yourself as like your mobile phone, you need to go and plug in. Like literally, these are your sockets. Helps you plug in. And now start to drop the chin down so it's on a diagonal. Ooh. I'm trying to go to all those places where I think most of us, a lot of us, are holding on to tension because of what's going on a global and collective level. There will be areas, in the chakras that are affected, will all be affected in a similar way on a physical, physiological, psychological level, emotional even, in a similar way. That's why I'm just slightly changing it from where we'd been. Now we're going to just start to circle the head. Now, only go as far as feels okay for you. You know, when you go to the hairdresser, and for some people it's just not nice to have the head back in the sink. Anybody else like really ready for their hairdresser? I actually feel quite blessed because last year I just decided to about a year and a half ago, to stop highlighting my hair, so it's kind of its natural colour now, so I don't notice any different, nor do I wear makeup very much, so it's kind of one of the benefits of being low maintenance. I take the head in the other direction, and maybe that's like one of the things where the caterpillar, like letting go of all the things that you maybe thought you needed, like the different highlights or the colours, clothes, and all these things that we thought we needed, maybe we didn't, and this is a chance to just like shed that old skin and start to become a new form, really, or just see what unfolds. I noticed as I stopped messing around with my hair, God, I've got really curly hair. Now, bring the arms up above the head, clasping the hands, release the shoulders down the back. And see if you can just lift up out the rib cage. Now, close off as if holding on to a poo to stop yourself going to the loo. Close off your root lock here and draw the belly in. And just hold without lifting up the shoulders, release them down. Imagine the breath travelling up from the root all the way up to the ground of the head. Squeeze the root lock, hold it there. Oh, and then the arms float like feathers. Okay, good. So we're going to start to come up to standing. We're going to start to go into our full sequence now, which will be a little bit warmer. Before you do that, we're going to come up through a downward dog. So depending on how your mat is, mine's horizontal like this, but when I come up, so I would turn round to come up from down dog like that. However you get up. But we're going to just sit back onto the heels, stretch out those feet again. I'm going to pad the hands forward. So think about getting rid of the resistance in the feet. Often, and we're going to go to down dog now, but if that's not for you, then stay in all fours. But often when we come up to down dog, it's a good check-in as to what's going on with you. So every time you do down dog, it's different, and there may be more resistance in one place rather than the other, which is why it's good to kind of move around and explore those spaces. See how your down dog's feeling today. You use your intuition with the head being down like this. It is going to stimulate your third eye, that intuitive part of you. I often say, don't do the same movements again and again and again. But actually, down dog is one of those things. It's a basic, and you can move around with it. Give it a different focus each time. Give it a different intention. So your intention may be today to find space where you've been stuck or where you're still holding on to the old. Kind of our intention for the practice today. Now I'm going to start to walk the feet towards the hands. Bring the feet wide in your squat. Just drop the tailbone down a few times. Maybe take the feet a little wider, shifting the hips from side to side. I'm going to go a bit deeper into the squat today. So have the legs nice and wide, have the fingertips down. Remember, it doesn't matter how far you go, but you may be able to lift comfortably, lift off the toe. So as my right knee bends, the left toes lift. You might feel more sensation down the inner thighs. So we work to open the hips a little here as well. So it's called a Cossack squat. It can also be done from standing and lowering down. That's very good. So we're going to drop the tailbone down now and going to bring the hands to the heart. Let's see if we can come up from Namaste. So see the tailbone drops down. So it's heavy. The heart starts to lift up onto the hands. And then we inhale with the hands together. Exhale. Release the arms down. Now let's take a few little Sufi whirls. I love these for loosening up the spine. This is great for element of space. One of the key places where we can get stuck and there can be resistance is in the spine. So this is a really good way of freeing up that spinal channel, so the energy channels up the spine, keep everything flowing in the body and keep that feeling of spaciousness. It also stops all the vertebrae and discs kind of getting compressed and stuck together. Don't worry, I felt a click there. Don't worry if you do. That's fine. Okay, just things releasing. It's like we're just gently encouraging that shedding of the old skin. Now let's come to a stop and let's find our horse stance. So the feet are wide. Now I just remembered there that something has changed with the live video on the Facebook. So when I'm saying right and you're trying to mirror, that's probably your left, I think, isn't it? I only knew this because I wrote something on the board the other day to show people, like a mantra. It was the wrong way around, so I had to go back and write it backwards. So I think it was just something changed. So I'm going to try and, as we go through this sequence, I'll be saying right and you'll be mirroring me. So hopefully that works okay today. So I think everybody's they're quite forgiving, aren't they, in this climate. I'm finding that anyway. So, finding your whole stance. Let's start with the hands just to Dantian. So we're just going to power up here. Power up gently. So we're grounding. I mean, you just practice holding this stance every day. And it's really going to help you. It'll help you build resilience. So that strong foundation. So plug in through the feet. Imagine that your feet are the sockets now, plugged into the earth. We're going to keep with that soft, gentle breath we were doing last week. But we're just going to add in this new element to it, which is you breathe in. Imagine just breathing in a bit into new space in the body. So it might just be, say here on the rib cage. Breathing into that space, and as you exhale, it's like you sink down into that space. It's where things start to transform and transition. So we're going to release the hands. Inhaling softly and gently, but it's a long breath. As you exhale, the hands come down to touch the earth. Soft and gentle. Just let the breath flow as you till your soil. Now gather a big ball of earth energy. Inhaling slowly and gently. Turning the palms as you exhale. Inhale, take the palms up towards the sky. And exhale, bring the hands just to shoulder height, palms facing up, holding the sun and the moon in the hands. Now inhaling around in the back and bringing the backs of the hands together. Exhaling, opening the palms and opening the heart space. And again. Inhale, round in the back, the toes come towards you. You can really get the space in between the shoulder blades on this one. And exhale, opening out. You've now got more space. Okay, this next time, inhale. And hold there and exhale. Inhale, get spacious in the upper back. Breathing into all those stuck bits. Exhale. And just release and soften and surrender into that space. Inhale, breathing into the resistance. Exhale, sinking down into the space. One more. Good. Now inhale, bring the hands to the chest. And as you exhale, turn to the right with the right foot. Open the arms out. Relaxing the shoulders down the back. So we're in warrior 2. We're just going to do a few breaths here. Soft and gentle breath. Inhale, space. Straighten that right leg. And exhale and soften down into that new space. Inhale. Into the resistance. Maybe it's inhaling and you feel the resistance across the chest here. Maybe it's in the inner thighs. Maybe it's in the back of the legs. You'll feel it wherever you're holding on to resistance. Now look along the middle finger of the right hand as we do one more. Good. Now this left arm is going to come around to meet the right arm. Going to lift off the left heel, pivot on that toe. And so you bring the backs of the hands together. The hands will be over your right foot. Now, link the thumbs, take the palms down. Hook the hands underneath so we unfurl this lotus and lifting your lotus flower up towards the sky. So you can bend this left leg slightly if you like to sink down, but offer your cup a little higher. And do it just with a state of ease, gentleness, but still finding new space. Inhale, maybe you're lifting up a little bit. Maybe it's kind of lifting the rib cage up off the waist there. And exhale and sinking and softening into that new space. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Good. Now releasing the hands down, just ground through that left foot and bring the arms across for some waves. Okay, so we want to release a bit of tension from that holding there. So dispersing that energy. You know, maybe there was stuck energy, that's the resistance. We've just transformed it. Now we're going to disperse it, get rid of it. Good. Now arriving back in horse stance. Bring the arms out, pushing them forward, squatting down. Take an exhale, straighten the legs and bring fists of fire. Again, transforming energy. Inhale, exhale. You can have a boom if you like. I'm not feeling the boom today, I don't know why. Just feels like it's still nice and soft and gentle today. And in. Now, fists in. We're going to transfer the weight onto that right leg. We're going to open out like a star. So, might want to bring this left leg in. Open the arms out. That might be as far as you go, or you may straighten the right leg and lift the left leg to make a big star shape. Remember to breathe here, soft and gentle breaths. Just think of expanding into as much space as you can. So the element of ether, it's all about like that untapped potential. Everything that was ever created came from space. Stay there for as long as feels right for you. Just think of like you're a star literally in the sky. It's a great thing to do to work with the element of space, is actually to go out stargazing each night. Now start to lower that leg. Bring the right leg behind the left leg in a little curtsy. And drop the right arm, bring the left arm alongside the ear. Inhaling, finding space. And exhaling, sinking down into it. A little hangman. So I've got into a lovely practice here. Is at bedtime I go outside to the roof deck, and it's helped because I've got this new star gazing app as well, because I'm really interested in it all. But I actually go and I speak to the stars and I thank the stars because I see it's thanking my lucky stars. And it just seems to be a really nice practice to do. And that looking at the stars reminds me of, even though I don't know what things are going to look like, when it's going to change, when I'm going to be able to get started again with my retreats. I don't know. But the stars remind me that this is infinite world of possibilities out there. And that's the element of space. Now we're going to take this left arm, we'll bring it over the top. We'll step the left leg out, that leg's bent. We're going to anchor down the left elbow, making a fist, as if drawing back, bow and arrow. The right arm shoots up towards the stars for Elysium. So we're still anchored and rooted. We don't want to, if we're too, maybe you heard the term space cadet, we're too, if I head up in the ether and we're not grounded, we tend to not have as much connection to the earth and with each other. We can get a bit lost in space. Literally. So it's good to have that balance, grounded, rooted down into the earth, but reaching for the stars. Now, we're going to transition out of this. We're going to bend your right knee, straighten the left, start to drop the right arm, lift the left heel, as if throwing a javelin with this left arm. We pivot on the left foot. We're going to come to a dragonfly. So, whoosh, it's like you throw that javelin. So the left palm's facing the back, the right palm's facing me. Both feet are facing that right top edge of the mat. So nice twist. Maybe you drop down, maybe you explore going a bit further, or being a bit more creative with it. Intuitive. It's a great time for that. Now lifting the right arm, straightening the right leg to start with, while we ground the left leg, ground that left heel down. Turn the right palm towards the sky. Straighten the right leg. Right palm away, left palm to the sky. I think I got my right and left leg mixed up all the way through that, but if you just look to me to start with, stick the bottom out and then turn towards your right hand. Draw the elbows back. I've got Wild Warrior. So maybe you want to explore new frontiers in your Wild Warrior. Might be going a little deeper. Might be opening out the arms. So notice this kind of natural kind of opening. I want to imagine building this like cocoon around ourselves, which represent our boundaries, but we don't want them to be too rigid. I'm going to protect if there's anything around. Somebody's trampling all over your boundaries, you can be like, I think I'll just keep you there for now. Compassion still, but okay to say no. Now, from our wild warrior, transition onto that right leg, the right leg bent. So the left leg's going to lift up and it just comes behind. Bit like our curtsy, but with the left leg lifted. And then we've got a twist again, it's a skater. So I'll just make sure you can see this. So, left leg lifted if you can. Left arm goes round, bit like the dragonfly, but we're balancing on one leg. Okay, skater. And again, you can explore new frontiers. Now let's drop the left leg down. Oh, we come down. Ready for our sleeping swan. So the right leg out in front. Let's just round and hold and have a break there. So you can adjust, just come forward to show you can adjust the position of your feet here. This left leg's tucked under. The right foot can be further away from you or closer towards you. But be guided by, really you want to be hinging from the hips here so you're not round in the back. Hinging from the hips so you can lay the torso down over that thigh. Then we've got that area supported. We've got lengthening up from the lower back, keeping space in the lumbar spine. And then extending the fingers forward, dropping the chin. It's likely in this pose you'll feel resistance somewhere. I'm going to invite you just to soften into that resistance. Like it's going into it. Slowly lifting up from here. We're going to take the hands behind and you're going to go up and over towards the back of the mat. Okay, so we're going to go over the top. 1, 2, 3. Landing in that facing the left side of your mat. Going to open out the feet. Ready for our rock star. So your right hand comes behind. You face towards me. You push away the left palm and you reach up the chest. For some of you, you're going to lift off the hips. To full rock star, reach towards the back of the mat. Finding new frontiers. Now start to look over your left shoulder. Sorry, your right shoulder. Turning towards me. Release your right foot and come to a down dog. Walking through the feet. Okay, and we're going to wave down. So you're going to draw the belly in. You're not in down dog. All fours is fine. Waving down. Drop the knees. Lift off the toes. Start to take the crown of the head forward. Push the earth away from you with the hands to lift off the chest. Good. Now tuck the toes. Take the seat back towards the heels for a downward facing dog. Take the left leg up, the right leg up in the air. That's me and my brain resisting change. Knees coming over, snaking. Step the foot between the hands. Ground down into your right heel. Windmill the arms. To warrior 2. Take the feet to the front. Hop the feet together. And give everything a shake out. Whoa. Now, you probably feel a little bit unusual. Because you'll be all lopsided. We've done one side and not the other. So we need to get that all matched up together. Now you'll notice we went slow, we went mindfully, we weren't pushing. We had a soft and gentle breath, but that doesn't mean to say that the body isn't working hard. So let's find horse stance. You know, you can hear my breath, can't you? My breath is quickened and sort of my heart rate's going a little bit harder and I feel warmer. So if you're feeling all those things, it's normal. If you need a bit more of a break, you know, you can always just, if you're watching it on the record, pause it or just restart in a minute or two when you're ready. But finding horse stance, the hands to dantian. Let's take an inhale, releasing the hands, bringing them up above the head without lifting the shoulders. And taking an exhale, bring the hands down to touch the earth. Shifting the weight from side to side, making a figure of 8 with the hands, mixing up the soil, finding space in the shoulders, the neck. Even when you've got your head down like this, you can just imagine getting space in the head by just opening that zip on the crown of the head, allowing it to open and allowing all the stuff that you don't need just to release out the crown of the head to be taken care of by Mother Earth. She'll regenerate it for something, it's fine. Now bringing the hands together, making a big ball. Our inhale, we'll bring the hands up to the heart. Our exhale, we turn the palms around to face me, elbows still out. You inhale, lift the palms up towards the sky, and then you exhale, open the arms out to hold the sun and the moon in the hands. We just do this once this side because it's the same, it's a balanced movement. Inhale, we bring the backs of the hands together. And then as you exhale, open the arms out to the left, looking to the left, turning the left foot out to a warrior 2. So we inhale, finding space, opening the chest, exhale and sinking down. Now just be careful when you do this. So by straightening this left leg, it forces, and lifting the toe, it forces you to bring the weight back into that back foot. But when you release down, make sure that weight stays in the back foot so that you're not taking your weight all the way into that knee. So we're keeping our weight evenly distributed. Lovely centre of gravity here. Now, holding in warrior 2. We're going to bring this right arm and we're going to rotate the arm in the shoulder socket. So the back of the hand is coming towards the left arm. The right heel's lifted. That hip is bringing the torso round. The backs of the hands are together. We've got this round in here. We take the thumbs, and we link them, then take the palms down. The hands scoop to the belly. Backs of the hands come together, and then you unfurl your lotus flower. So you've got your thumbs and your little fingers together. So we want this back foot turned all the way around. So just check that, but just check the feet are both facing towards that left side of the mat. So we can inhale, expand the ribs, not too deep, just soft and gentle, but just feel that expansion still. And exhale, sink down into the space you've created. Inhale, exhale, filling up your cup of light, healing light. Maybe explore new frontiers. But now ground down through that right heel, bring the arms across. Oh, nice release. So you can feel that the fire, so it's quite a fiery pose, that last one, transforms energy. It's good for burning off fears. It's good for burning off anger. And then we want to go all like nice and floaty with the water to just disperse all that energy. You notice I work with the 5 elements, and that's because everything in nature and everything in us is a balance of 5 elements. Earth, water, fire, air and space. Now take an inhale, push the arms forward, sinking down as you exhale. Make fists of fire. See if you can do it. Find that place that's that perfect balance between strength and softness. The 2 things together, you can be strong and soft like a martial artist. Now on this one, fists of fire, fists in. Transfer the weight onto the left leg. Bring the right leg in. Open out to your star. Oh, we're going to have a little cheat here and place the hand on the bed. And open out, big star shape. Remember, the option is just having this foot down. Main thing is just feel as if you're expanding into as much space as you can. So, opening everything out. Look at all this that we've got. Now, start to lower down that right foot. Bring it behind in your little curtsy. Drop the left arm down, the right arm comes alongside the ear. And your hangman. So the knees kind of bend in the curtsy. The inhale, expanding into new places. Exhale, softening into that space you've created. Inhaling, breaking through any resistance. Exhaling, softening into the space. Okay, so this right hand, this top arm, we're going to go up and over as we step out with that right leg. And we anchor down, that elbow into the earth. So, right leg bent, right elbow down, left arm up, reaching for the stars. Elysium pose. Ooh, shoulders are relaxed, fingers outstretched. Now, extend that right leg so that starts to straighten. Turn, make sure the left foot's turned towards the left. Start to drop that left arm, lift off the right heel, pivot on that foot. We're going to throw the javelin with that right arm. So we come to this twist. You should be looking behind you, your left palm towards me, the right hand towards the back. So got this kind of twist going on. The position of the arms, hands is not crucial, but it's quite important. It'll affect the whole position of the shoulders. Again, inhaling, kind of feel yourself expand. Exhale as you soften into the space. Now we're going to go up and over with this right arm. Whoosh. We're going to come into a wild warrior. So the right heel plants, the right knee bends, the left leg straightens, right palm the same direction. So the left palm and the left toe in the same direction, right palm towards the sky. Stick the bottom out and again explore somewhere new in your wild warrior. Now for some of you it might be, a tipping forward or drawing the elbows back or sticking the bottom out. You to use your intuition. As you've been going through this course, I hope you start to feel that what I'm trying to do is help you listen to your own body as to what's right for you, rather than, be too rigid about what it looks like, or what somebody else might be doing, or what you think it should be like. Now, start to bend your left leg, bring the right leg behind for a skater. So we drop the arms down so the right arm and the right leg are kind of lifted up further. That left arm as if it's heading down round towards that back foot. It's reaching round towards it. They're called a skater. So the speed skater, you see them go like that. I think it was Hannah Williams who gave me this one. I think so. Fellow teacher. It was once a student. She told me about skaters. She said, "Oh, one I think you'll like, Gilly." She was right. Now from here, we're going to lower down to the floor. See if you can do it without releasing the hands down. Whoa. Landed with a lump. And then tucking that right leg over, the left leg in front. Let's just fold over that left leg. So you may feel this in the back of the leg and the hamstring. We're not going totally straight with the leg because we're not holding our poses yet. What we're doing is we're just still in this softening of the fascia for this part. Inhaling and expanding your horizons. Exhaling, softening down into that space. Okay, so starting to lift up, taking the hands behind. We're going to go up and over, and don't worry about what it looks like. We're going to go around the back, changing over legs so you're looking towards the right. Feet just hip width apart. Left hand behind now. Right palm facing away. So you can just lift up the chest, that can be enough. Soft and gentle. Push down into the hand. Push down into the feet. What might happen, the hips might lift. And go up and over. And you smile and you breathe. And say, hello sunshine. And then we're going to see if we can flip from here to a down dog. So you look towards me. You look down to the floor, to your left hand. You release the left foot and you go, whoo, flip over. Don't worry if you didn't make it. Just see if you land in your down dog or with the knees down. Remember, always all fours is an option for down dog. And from down dog, lift off the heels, draw in the belly, wave yourself down to a plank. From plank, drop the knees down. The arms stay straight, so what we're doing, we just push the earth away. Lift up the head, lift off the feet. Let's go as far as feels nice with this. Draw the belly in, tuck the toes, sit back onto the heels. Push down into the hands, lift up, down dog, or you can do it from all fours. This time it's your left leg lifting. The knee comes underneath. You round the back and you step that foot through. We go up and over. Back to the upright. Hop the feet together. Give everything a shake. And let's go straight down to a child's pose to recover. So slide the hands down, the thighs. Come down onto the knees. We did the whole sequence there, so it was quite a lot. Let's rest in child's pose. Bring the arms alongside the lower legs and rest your head down to the mat. Now, if it feels like a little too far down, you can take a pillow or something, place your third eye on the pillow. And while you're in child's pose here, what you're going to do is absolutely nothing but breathe. And child's pose in this context is a great example of the liminal space. It's a transition. So in this moment we're transitioning from the stronger part of the sequence to the winding down, the more yin style. But you don't know what's coming up. And you just need to surrender to, this is where I am now, the in-between space. And that doesn't mean to say it's nothing. The transition is happening, but it's happening at the pace of nature. Just allow your body to adopt the pace of nature. When everything unfolds slowly and perfectly. The challenge is in just the allowing. Being in that place between the what was and the what's next. slowly just bringing yourself up to sit back onto the knees after child's pose. So you may want a cushion or a block, something handy, or a pillow. Just going to place a blanket underneath my knees for this. So, and you might want a little bit of padding underneath as well. So we're going to take a pigeon. So we're going to come onto all fours, and you're going to bring the right knee behind the right wrist, and then you're going to take the lower leg, and so the back leg, tuck the toe and just lift off the knee. Okay, so we're lifted first of all, and then we're going to play around with where this underneath shin is. So on somewhere on this diagonal, we want to keep we don't want this right hip to drop down. We want to keep the hips level. And what I find is useful here is to place something underneath your, right bum cheek, and nestle down from here. You may even want, a block or a cushion underneath the head here. So what we're going to do, we're going to double up our pigeon with a thread the needle. So working with the hips, a lot of stuck energy and emotions, a lot of resistance held there. We're going to take the right hand. We're going to thread the needle through. That little was me thinking which hand it was. We're going to come down onto the right shoulder. Maybe the right ear comes down. If it doesn't quite, if it doesn't feel comfortable, place a pillow there. And this should feel nice. The shoulders may need it, the outer hips. You might feel it in the glutes. Just make sure that back leg, that left leg is really relaxed. And then try and find the softness in the position. So there's going to be so much going on in this that you'll all feel it somewhere different. And I can't tell you where's right to feel it, because you'll feel it wherever you have your personal resistance. And all you need to do is just tune into that, observe it, breathe into that area and see if you can breathe in, help and release the resistance, and breathing out nice and softly, gently, sinking into that new space you've created with the breath. Breathing in and finding new space. And breathing out, softening into that space. Good. Ooh, now when you're ready, just start to push down into your left hand to just slide the right arm out. Was that nice? If it was nice and your body feels like it needed it, then throughout the week, do that every day. Hold it for about 5 to 10 minutes each side. That could be just what you need. Now bring this right leg back. I'd recommend taking the right leg back, giving it a shake out. No matter how much yoga you do, you could often come out a pigeon and feel like you're like 108 years old. So, and that's fine. It means there's something transitioning. So let's bring the left knee behind the left wrist. That back foot, the right foot, lift the knee off, slide that foot right back, and then just play around with where your left shin's going to be. So I would say it's going to be somewhere between, so if 12 o'clock is straightforward, the lower legs at 6 o'clock. It's going to be probably no more than 7, between 7 and 8. I'm always between 7 and 8, never over to 9, and that's from years of doing it. Often people, they're trying to take the leg across so they're straight across, and then you're kind of in something completely different. So, and that's just ego, trying to get somewhere where you're not ready for. Rather sit with where it's comfortable, that you're getting sensation. Think about the body softening, rather like going at it like need to do that. The body will resist that kind of mentality. So just be really soft and gentle with yourself. Take the block or a cushion maybe, or anything you like, or nothing at all, underneath your left bum cheek. And then we're going to thread the needle. You might want another block or cushion ready. Left arm's going to come underneath. You're going to come down onto the shoulder. So it's going to be to the inside of your left knee. So you just need to, check in with that as to where that feels comfortable. We might need to bring the torso slightly over just to bring this shoulder down. So we're getting a lovely release of the shoulder here. You might feel as well as like round the hip what's going on. I'm kind of doubling up a couple of moves here, so that'll be different places you feel it. And also one of the key places around the shoulder blades, tops of the shoulders even, and these attachments here, kind of between the ear and the shoulder, where I've been holding on really tightly. So just inhale, trying to find new space and expanding. Exhaling and softening. Feeling this sense of just surrender to where you are, where you find yourself. All you need to know, don't judge the resistance when you come across it, whether that's physical resistance or mental resistance to change, but just observe. And just that awareness is going to help you move towards acceptance. Remember, it's all a journey, and everybody's handling this differently. However you're handling it, it's okay. There's no judgment. Okay, pushing down into the right hand, slowly bringing yourself up. Oh, maybe just swing that back leg. So I'm coming up onto the left knee, swing the right leg back and give it a shake out. So I don't know about you, I felt like, I want to do more of that later on. So if you have anything like that through the class, then please feel free to go back into it. Now then, here is our, it's kind of called reclined butterflies. Some of you might have done this in a class with me. What we want to do is kind of build a structure for us to support ourselves so that we can then release. So the first thing we need is some kind of, I'm going to use a pillow for this, some kind of raised surface that we can pop your next item onto. So I'm using a pillow here. You could use a cushion. You could use your block to raise it up. And then the next structure I've got, so I've just rolled up my bolster, my Fender bolster, in a blanket. I'm making a big thick one here. It doesn't need to be that thick. I'm going to roll it up. You could roll up a block. It could just be a pillow. It could be a bolster, but a rolled up blanket, something that makes that, something like that. And then I'm going to put it on there so it makes kind of the pillow's made a ledge for that new bolster. So I know some of you have done this in a class in a studio with me, I think, with the proper bolster, and that's really fantastic. But there's always things that you can find at home or in your environment. And then I've got two cushions about the same size. These aren't crucial, but they do feel really nice. Now, once I've got this structure set up, and I'm going to show you from the side, but you can have yours at the back of the mat or wherever you like. And then I'm going to lay back over this, hoping it works. I did a little practice. I want my tailbone right to be right at the base of the structure. And you'll see my shoulders hang off the side here. Now, what I also feel like I want here is something underneath the back of my head. So I'm just going to use a couple of towels here. I'm going to roll them up. Just place them at the back of my head. So you just keep adding things to this structure here. You want the chest lifted and you want the shoulder blades off the side. The feet come together And then you can place 2 cushions just underneath your knees here. And then you can lay back like that. And then you just have a wriggle round. Now, if you just lay flat, that's fine as well. You might need to have a bit of a play around with your structure, finding what you need. If you've got a foam roller, that works really well. So you could have a block at its second height, a foam roller, done like that. You know, mine's just a small little structure here, not very long one. But what it does, it lifts off the chest, it starts to open this space here, the heart space, and then with the feet together and the knees out, I'm releasing in the hips. And this is called Supta Baddha Konasana. Actually, it's called Salamba Supta Baddha Konasana, which means supported reclined cobbler's pose. So, or just like butterfly. We'll call it butterfly, a bit easier. So, and this is lovely for releasing. So you want to make sure the back of the head is supported as well. I'm going to invite you just to go into that position. If you're just lay on your back and you've no structure there, that's okay too. So wherever you are, it's okay. But just make sure that you can let the shoulders go, release the tension there, let the knees fall apart and let the hips soften. And so this represents, you know, this with support comes release. So we've supported all these structures we need supported to the areas where we tend to become hardened, and especially when we're fearful. It's kind of the heart chakra and a little bit below in the solar plexus chakra. So this area, the centre of the torso, we tend to kind of get layers of resistance there. So we become fearful, we sort of tighten up there. And also in our hips is like our emotion, our kind of sense of security and kind of the area connected to pleasure as well. So, and guilt, you know, if it's out of balance down there. So we're going to look to release these areas. So you can close the eyes. The arms are just away from the body, the palms facing upwards. And our mantra through this one is, in the inhale, just on the exhale, let go. We're going to start with that, of an affirmation, really. Inhale, just soft and gentle. Exhale, let go. Just let go. Just let go. Just keep that mantra going for a few rounds. Remember, in the breath, you want it soft and gentle, not too deep, not too harsh. Just inducing this relaxation response, this really kind breath. And notice how the body responds when you're soft and gentle with the breath. Maybe you can feel a softening around the heart center or around the solar plexus. Maybe lower down into the hips. Softening. It requires a bit of trust of the structure that's there. For you just to surrender. Even if those structures are just temporary, even if they break down, know that all you've got that you need is right there underneath, and Mother Earth's there supporting you. So you can surrender now. Soften and let go. notice how much space there is, how much new space there is when you can let go, when you can release the control and the resistance to what has been, and say, this is where I am right now. This is where I am right now. This is where I am right now. And when you're ready, just start to bring the knees back in towards each other. Take the hands just to the side of the body, press the palms down into the floor and lift the chest up just to calm, to sit upright and just hug the knees and drop the head over the knees. And then slowly lift the head. You're just going to move all your structures out of the way, apart from something that you might need to have underneath your head. Maybe you want to use a blanket as well. I'm going to come to lay onto the back. Keep the feet so they're connected into the earth, the knees bent. The arms out to the side, and we're just going to drop the knees down to the right. Into a twist. What you might want to do is bring the knees, stack them on top of each other, or leave them wrap one underneath. You might want to keep the knees quite apart. So many different options to your twist, but I'm going to invite you just to use your intuition and ask yourself which twist is going to be right for you today, where you can be soft and gentle, but find the balance between maybe expanding your horizons, slightly exploring new territory, so that you're finding new space, but just being gentle with that process of transition. Now carefully coming out of that twist, come back to a neutral place and drop the knees to the left. Finding a similar twist on that side. You want both shoulder blades to stay planted. We're taking that twist over to the left and finding that place of surrender. And just staying there for a few breaths, inhaling, kind of expanding your horizons, exploring new territory, and exhaling, sinking down into that space. Just with that acceptance of this is where I am right now. Now slowly bring the knees back through the center. give yourself a hug with the knees to the chest, or do whatever feels right for you, using that third eye, maybe closing the eyes, using your intuition. What else does my body need before we go to Shavasana? When you're ready, so Shavasana, corpse pose, arms and legs open, also maybe like a starfish. Finding that comfort on the mat, so maybe have a good wriggle and a fidget. You want to feel like the body's just, like if it had been expanded like a really overinflated balloon. Just allow yourself just to deflate a little bit, like just to soften. Let go of all that resistance. And find that comfortable space on your mat. Connecting with the earth beneath you. That tidal energy as well, the water energy, the ebb and the flow, just accepting that natural cycle, rhythm. Maybe you can sense the flickering flame just at the center of the chest. The flame of a candle representing your soul. Notice the air, cleansing the lungs and clearing the mind. And then sense all that space, both within you and around you. Inhaling, breathing some of the space into the body. And breathing out. Feel yourself settle into that space and also blend with the space around you. Breathing in some space and all that infinite potential into the body. And breathing out, feeling yourself expand and blend into it. Just a nice, gentle and soft chrysalis metamorphosis. We're going to use another mantra as we breathe. The So-Hum mantra. As you breathe in, you can just be in your head, you say it or out loud. As you breathe in, so. As you breathe out, hum. As you breathe in, so. As you breathe out, hum. So, hum. Just continue that a few times at your own pace. Just losing the mantra now. Just arriving in stillness and quiet. And notice how you feel. If you want to stay a little longer in Shavasana and finish the video now. Well, if you're closing up, then before you move, take the tip of the thumb, tip of the forefinger together. Seal in this lovely spacious energy into the body. You're reminding yourself just to accept where you are in this process, in this liminal space. This is where we are now. And then beginning to move by wriggling the fingers and the toes. Oh, maybe taking a big yawning stretch. Wriggling around. Circling the wrists, circling the feet, wriggling the toes, bringing the knees to the chest. Remember, adopting the pace of nature. Everything is unfolding. It's okay. So, rolling onto your side or rocking up to seated. Just find the sit bones. And bring the hands to the heart. So I'm just going to end on this mantra I used for the other night for one of the sessions. This is what I wrote backwards, so excuse my writing. I'm just going to repeat this and you can say it with me if you like. Lokah Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Lokah Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Lokah Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. May all beings everywhere be happy and free. And shine like diamonds in the sun. Every one of us. And from my heart to your heart, I do hope you enjoy the course. Namaste. On the Facebook page, there is, on the members area of the Well Warrior, there's the balancing elements video, which comes right at the end on week 6. This is an extra if you've just been on the Wild Warriors 2020. If you're on your second phase of the Wild Warriors, you'll maybe recognise it from the last one, but that's week 6 in there. Next Saturday, I've got a special 3-hour workshop going on, which I'll be letting you know about shortly, which is all about this caterpillar and it's called the butterfly effect, this chrysalis, accepting this phase that we're in at the moment, hopefully helping you cope with these times. So, sending you much love and light. Namaste.